donuts. We're going to talk about fitness here in a second. My favorite. Give me a second. I'll be right with you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate your patience. Today we're going to talk about wellness and fitness, right? But not just like working out and eating right. That's important, obviously. But we want to talk about your well-being, like how you feel. Do you have energy? Are you in a good mood? Do you feel good? And these things are not just controlled by, eating right, and it's controlled by your hormones. Most people have no idea how important your hormones are for your entire body wellness. They control everything. It controls how you sleep. It controls how the mood you're in. It controls weight gain, weight loss, all controlled by hormones. And most people don't realize, before I learned about hormones, I literally thought the hormones were like, well, that's like women have estrogen and men have testosterone. There is a huge list of all these different hormones. Insulin, you hear about insulin leads to diabetes, right? We'll kind of talk about that a little bit, but I'm not going to go into too much depth. I want to keep it simple so you really understand. But in order for you to be fit, not only in your body, but also in your mind, you need to understand how all this stuff works. So first of all, we talked about testosterone, estrogen. One of us, melatonin, controls how you sleep. It's super important for your well-being. If you don't sleep well and you wake up, you're cranky and you don't feel like studying, you can't pay attention in class, you don't want to work out, right? So it's super important that you understand how the hormones affect your body. Right off the bat, 3 of the hormones are from your brain, are made in your brain. The other 7 are made in the rest of your body. So right off the bat, the way you think, feel, act, all that stuff has to do with chemical balance. And your body is constantly trying to keep everything in balance, right? So I'm sure you've heard of people who, well, I went on a diet, I lost a bunch of weight, and then I just put it all back, and that's absolutely true. If you lose weight too fast, your body sees that as an attack on you. And it tries to protect you. It tries to balance it out. It tries to put the weight back on that it lost because it looked at as starvation, right? So how does it do all this stuff? All right, so we know that hormones have a lot to do with, your feelings, how you feel about everything, trying to balance your body out, how you sleep, all super important. And what we didn't touch on a lot about was insulin, okay? Insulin, sugar, you need sugar in order to survive. I mean, it's part of what your body uses for energy. But when you take in too much sugar, then insulin is what offsets it, balances it. And what happens with our really bad diets now, too much sugar is taken in and it causes the pancreas, which creates your insulin, to work into overdrive way too often. And just like everything, after a while, it gives out and it's unable to regulate it. So this is why you end up with diabetes, and you end up having to not eat any sugar, can't enjoy cake or cookies or anything, because you simply, your pancreas can't keep up and produce enough insulin anymore to make up for the imbalance in how much sugar your body's taking in. All right. So now, how does all this affect my weight loss and weight gain? Let me see if I can break this down really, basic. Your body's like a car engine. So all the calories that you eat, all the food you eat, that's the fuel, right? And everything you burn, that's your basal metabolic rate, okay? And what that does is you have to have a balance. Your basal metabolic rate, which is hard to pronounce, by the way, is how much energy it takes for your body just to be alive. So your basic rate, it's different for different people, but generally a good rule of thumb, I'm just going to round it up to 2,000 calories to be alive, to pump your heart, to blood flow, for brain function, just to be awake and alive. You burn about 2,000 calories. Okay, so today we're going to sit down on the couch and we're not going to do anything because it's raining outside and we just want to sit down and relax and enjoy ourselves on a nice Saturday. So we're just going to sit there and watch some movies all day long. You burn 2,000 calories. So here's the problem. That Big Mac combo meal that you just ordered from Grubhub, that's about 1,200 calories if you only have one soda, right? So You're hungry, get a little Grubhub while you're watching TV, got your soda. That's 1,200 calories. So your body burns 2,000 calories. Well, you just ate 1,200, right? But you're going to drink a couple more sodas because you're relaxing all day. You're also going to have some chips while you're sitting there, right? Maybe even some popcorn, and then after you watch movies for a couple hours, you're going to want a snack. Well, then you grab some cookies or you grab some, maybe a bag of Oreos, man. Those are good. Super bad for you. Like one of the worst things you can have is an Oreo. But we love them. We eat them, right? So now the Oreos, that was about 800 calories because you had, I don't know, maybe 10 of them, and then we had a bag of chips and that was about 600 calories. Basically, we're up to 3,000 calories. So I told you 2,000 calories by being alive. You just ate 3,000 calories. So what happens? Well, all that extra food is stored as fat. All those extra calories are stored in your body as fat, and your body's holding on to those calories and that fat for energy later, right? The problem is that rarely do we go back and burn that later because we are Americans and we don't not eat. We never starve ourselves. We never go without. So your body never burns that reserve, right? We're always putting new food in our mouth and our body burns that and never goes into burning that fat because that's how you lose weight. So how do you do this? We burn 2,000 calories, but we ate 3,000 calories. Well, that's where working out comes from, right? So we can get up, we can go take a walk, and maybe that burns 200 calories. So now we've taken in 3,000 calories, our body burns 2,000 calories, and we just took a walk, and that walk burned 200 calories. Well, now we're still 800 calories short, right? We're at 22. What do? Well, we go lift some weights, right? Or we can do all kinds of things, and we work out, and activity burns more calories, right? So now we start realizing that when they say, well, it's diet has everything to do with it, you're better off eating less junk and eating better than you are to try to get up and go take a walk. And now I'm going to present this video for you. It'll really drive home the point that I'm making, and we'll use that donut that I ate earlier as an illustration of how it all works. All right, so there's a scale. We got our donut on one side. We have how much energy we burn on the other side, and now we have energy balance, right? As you see, and simply put, if you burn more energy than food you eat, then you lose weight. All right, we mentioned that your body automatically burns a certain amount of fat, and that depends, each person's different on your body weight, genetics, muscle mass, all kinds of things. Also, how active you are. If you're an active person, you run, how fast do you run? How hard do you run? How long? The duration of time you run. Or if you walk. Now let's talk about that glazed donut that I had earlier. I love glazed donuts, but they are 300 calories a piece. Now, if you walk for 1 hour at a moderate pace, 3 miles an hour, it will take you 1 hour to burn one donut. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? That means you have to walk 1 hour just to burn one donut. And who eats one donut? All right, I want to talk to you about one more thing, and it's called the plateau effect. That's when you do all these things, you work out, you eat right, and you see in weight loss and all this improvement, then all of a sudden you do the exact same thing. You have the same diet, you work out as much, and then all of a sudden you just hit this plateau. And then when you hit the plateau, you're working out harder, you're eating right, but yet you're not seeing any results, and it's very frustrating. Okay, so people get really frustrated with the whole plateau thing. So remember how I was telling you that people, just by being alive, burn X amount of calories, and I said 2,000 is just a rule of thumb. The problem is when you lose weight, your metabolism slows down and you burn less calories. So now what happens is you do the same amount of exercise and you don't lose weight anymore. So now the only thing you can do about it is either eat less / better, or increase how much you work out, either how much you do, how long you do it, or the intensity of it. All right, so what did we learn today? First, we want to eat healthier and keep our hormones in balance. It's very important. 2, we want to reduce our sugar intake, because if we keep our pancreas healthy, our insulin at the right levels, you can avoid diabetes, which is something that you really want to avoid going into the future. And third, very important, stay active. You don't have to lift weights really hard. You don't have to run really fast. A brisk walk. The goal is to get your heart rate into the fat burning, which is 130 beats per minute. Once you get your heart rate up to 130 beats, and you can do that by brisk walk. Enjoy the evening, enjoy the afternoon, get a little sun, get out there, be active and walk. All this will make you a healthier person. Well, that's all I have for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and remember, no donuts were hurt in the making of this video.